Good morning once again, and HND 52 batch programming session. This is the second session that we are doing. Today is March 3rd of 2021, sorry, 2021. And this is our second session. You know, last week, Thursday, we had a physical session at the college. The very first session. We had the physical session, I think, last week. You can remember? First physical session we had it in last week. This is the third session I think we are doing. So normally my sessions always it has a recap session at the very beginning, like maybe 5 minutes. Like I will recap you what we have done so far. I will do what I have done so far. After that, what I'm going to do is I will be I will be taking you to the new lesson part as well. At the end of the recap part, the discussion, if you do have any doubts or if you have any related questions, you can feel free to ask. Okay, can you raise your hands if you have a microphone to speak? Raise the hands if you have a microphone. No worries, you can speak. So these things are really important, children, that's why. Most of you seems like having a mic. What about Sabir? Ashik, Yunus. Okay, right, that's good. Put your hands down. Right, let's continue. Last week we started the session. So the first part we discussed, I gave you a small introduction and I took an introduction about yourself. You have introduced yourself. Then what we did was we went through the slide show and slowly we had a discussion. And you know, the last week we had a physical session, so the discussion was a bit lengthy and quite a small part we did as a lesson, but in online session we can cover a little bit more anyways, right? So first of all, I was explaining about the common programming terminology, which means in this lesson definitely you're going to learn some new words. You're going to learn a lot of new words, okay? So related to the programming subject, you're going to learn new words starting from the word algorithm, because last week the first word that we started, or the first thing that we started, was algorithm, right? Then what we started was we started doing introduction to software development life cycle, that will be discussed today. What do you mean by software design? Because that is the part we're going to spend more time on. Programming unit, this is unit number 2, so we're going to spend more time on software design, because you'll be learning how to do problem solving and all in detail. So you'll be doing a lot of pseudocodes and flowcharts and things like that. So software design part we're going to learn, and we're going to spend some time on that. Introduction to pseudocodes, we will see the end of this subject whether we can do that part, right? And as usual, any of my this one will finish with a question and answering session. Okay, right, let's move on to the next part. Common programming terminology, we discussed about what is a computer program last week. I taught you you should be remembering what is a computer programming language. Computer program is, it's a set of instructions should be written using a computer programming language, and that particular program should do a meaningful task. So if you take any app or any application or any software or any program, if you take these 3 criteria will be there. It should be a set of instructions. That instructions should be written using a computer programming language, and those instructions, that program should do a meaningful job. If it is so, then it is a meaningful and a useful software that you have done, right? So we took a look at some types of programs. So programs need not to be just data entry programs like what I showed you last week, the very last slide that I have developed, like hospital information management system. Need not to be always like that. It could be a game, it could be a graphics designing software, so on and so forth. so we don't have to spend too much of time on that. So it could be a mobile application, because Android as well as iOS, we have given both. At a given time, if you click on an icon on one of these devices, that will be performing an operation for you, so or it will be doing a meaningful task for you. So that is why we call it as a programming a program or an app, mobile app. So if you take graphics designing software are also there, like Adobe Photoshop, Maya, then video editing software is there, Adobe Premiere Pro, things like that available. This is a typical data entry and working program which I developed. Then I explained this one as well, how I just discussed this with you as well. Then we learnt again about this is a meme anyway. So we were again talking about who is a programmer and who is this one, what do you call, who is a programmer and versus a software engineer. Like last week I was basically explaining about who is a programmer. If you consider a programmer and a software engineer, usually software engineer is at a higher rank, and they do much wider tasks than a programmer does. Okay, so we went through the programmer part, and let's take a look at quickly on software engineer. That is our lesson today. So, and all of you are, most of you are willing to do software engineering and application development. So you one day you're going to become software engineers, and but you will be specializing on fields like machine learning. You might be becoming a data scientist, right? Okay, so artificial intelligence expert, right? Like anyway your job role will be different, but this is a general category where software engineering is, right? So let's take a look at the bullets or the points. You can see the first one, part of a team. Usually software engineers or developers will work as a part of a team, right? So they will be working as a team member, right? So they will be involved with larger projects. So each developer or each software engineer will be responsible for a particular task, or they will be responsible for a particular section of the development. So that is why they are part of a team. Programming in the large, the other opposite is small, because you are involving it enterprise level software development. So that is why that term is used. So anyway, you are going to build big applications for enterprise level companies and so on and so forth. And usually you have to be very thorough with, if you are a software engineer, thorough with design approaches. So you have things like O means object-oriented programming. That is one of the popular things is available, object-oriented programming. Latter part of our Java programming, I will be teaching you that part, and we will be building one or two programs using OOP concepts as well as you're going to develop using event-driven style as well. Most of the time we're going to develop programs in a modular approach or top-down approach or procedural method. So data or design approaches, we need to know what are the design approaches available. Then you have translates requirements into specifications. That skill should be there with a software engineer. So if you are a system analyst, basically what you basically do is you will be working with your client, person who wants to develop a system, a person who wants to get something done. So you're the person who will be capturing the user requirements. You will correctly know from the user what exactly the user needs. Then you will be converting them into the specification. Systems specification report is the outcome of that unit step. When we go to the software development life cycle, I'll talk to you that. So what happens is the user's requirements, you should be able to convert them into a specification. So the specification will tell these functions should be there, these things should be met, this is the configuration, this is the hardware requirements, these things should be there. That is what you mean by specification. For example, if I ask you what is the minimum configuration of a gaming computer, means you will tell this much of RAM should be there, this much of hard drive should be there, this type of processors should be there, VGA card should be like this. There are criteria like that. Likewise, that is a specification. Or if you're buying a phone or something, for example, if you visit a website like GSM Arena, you can see all the specs of the phone. I think you are familiar with those. is a nice website. Let's say you want to see the that's the phone I have, so let's select this one. Let's see these. What is given here is the specifications. Okay, now actually this is the specification of the real product, the ones that has been finished developing. So by the time you want to develop this device, they would have had these things in their mind or in their system specification report, so that they have got it developed. So after developing this piece of model like Redmi Note 9 Pro, the main camera should have this number of, where is the camera here, main camera should be 64 megapixels, and so on and so forth. Okay, right, all right. So where is it? So that I just wanted to share with you, so you can take a look at this website as well. I just post the link in your chat window. I just saw a message in the chat, that's why I just post for a while. Let me check what someone has posted in the chat. Suhail is raising his hand. Do you have a doubt, son? Suhail, you raised your hand. Who is this?
No, sir, no, sir.
Okay, Oppo A37. Who is that? Oppo, who is that? Only video is there. Please rename yourself. Rename yourself, please. Or else just let me know what's your name. I can rename it from here. I'll be taking your attendance as well. So that is your attendance. So I'll save it, then I will update this. Oppo A37F, who is that? I'm going to send you out. Please rename yourself. Rename yourself, please. Can you tell me who is that? Who is that person? This one? Who is this? If you let me know what's your name, I can rename it from here. Otherwise, I'm going to remove from here. If you can hear me, raise your hand. Raise your hand, Oppo A37. You're wasting others' time, child, please. Who is this? Who is this? Oppo A37. Identify yourself, please. Oppo A37. I'm going to remove you. Okay. So we discussed up to this point. You should be knowing the concepts, design approaches, then you'll be basically translating. Sabir, yes, why you raising your hand? Yeah.
Are you recording this?
Yes, of course
video?
I'm recording. Why?
No, my connection problem is on the I missed the part.
Sure, I'm recording, son. No worries. I'm recording it.
After send the class.
Yeah, I will put it later. I will upload this and
Okay,
you
sir,
can have
thank
it.
you.
How did I give you
Thank
last week? Did I put it in Google Drive? Last week we did the
No.
live session. This week
Yes, sir, yes,
we are recording. Okay, I'll arrange a method to give you. It is getting recorded. No worries. Yeah.
sir.
It's getting recorded, Buddha. Yeah. I'm recording it.
Yes, sir.
Let's continue. Right. Next part. Familiarity in multiple application areas. That means you are not only a web developer, mobile app developer, or a software only developer. You will be having applications, different types of applications you should be able to develop, right? Converses with users means you have to have conversation with the users, people who are using your software. You have to have the conversation with them, then only you can get their feedback on certain things. That what do you call that, quality, or that skill also should be there. Converses with users, so that is communication skills are definitely going to be useful. Then it says sees big picture means when you're, because you're going to develop enterprise level applications and huge applications, so you should be able to think the big picture means though you're working on a piece of software, a part of the big software, you should be able to see the holistic project, you should be able to see the entire project, so you should be able to see the big picture always, right? Then it says can model applications. For example, if you are to do a object oriented system for a school information management system, you should be able to model that one. So that is coming under what you call software design part. So you should be able to have those designing skills, how the requirements can be converted into a working plan. That is what is called the design. So can model applications. File one is good communication and interpersonal skills. So please remember that all of you should develop your communication skills, especially these presentation skills, talking with other people, asking questions clearly, answering very clearly, explaining briefly and very clearly. These things you have to develop. So there are certain things that we have to do. So if you could focus on those kind of things, definitely you will become a good communicator. So you have to be a good listener as well as you have to be a good communicator. Okay, right? So those skills that you have to have, right? So I think the next semester you are having a subject like professional practice. Are you having this semester? No, right? Next semester you're going to have that subject. Professional practice is an awesome subject. Now your seniors are having that subject. So Mr. Zumri or the Zumri sir will be doing that part. So you'll be basically learning on these kind of things: communication skills, leadership skills, problem solving skills, decision making skills. Those kind of things you're going to learn. Again, another person is there, Huawei Wi 5 2017. It's a disturbance. Child, don't know who is that connecting to audio. Who is this? Huawei Wi-Fi. Going to put you out, please. Who is this? We'll give them a chance. I'll wait for about 1 minute. Then I'm going to. If the name is not there, I'm going to put you out. This is for only for HND 52 IBM. That means Beka students. So it's not an open or a common session. Okay. No outsiders are entertained here. So hello. Who is this? If you want to join in, put the name properly. Huawei Wi-Fi 2017. Who is that, please? Speak up. Rename yourself. Who is that? Let me know who you are. Then I can rename you. There's something on chat window side. Can it is the same person who joined before? Okay. Last request. Huawei Wi-Fi 2017. Who is that? Identify yourself, please. Okay, we will put him out, right? So I'm going to put him on the waiting group. If you want, let me know. Someone's mic is on to the check करला off कर गंडा. Put in waiting room. Okay. Shall I lock the meeting, children, so others can't join in? Right, let's continue now. Sorry for that disturbance. It's not from me, but the disturbance are coming, right? Okay. Right, let's move on to the next part. Now, children, this is again important. This part is really important because software development life cycle we're going to talk. When you're developing a software or when you're developing an application, we cannot do it in an ad hoc manner, right? Like your customer tells you the requirement, maybe you listen to the requirement, so you understood half, then next day you sit on a computer, you can't start doing code work, you can't do the coding work. So please remember, the software development life cycle is a step-by-step process that you have to follow. Right, so we can take this planning as one stage, but I have taken it as an outside thing, right? So the planning will take place because if you are the developer or if you are a part of the development team, what you will be doing is you will be first of all having a plan, right? For example, now let's say your client is calling for a meeting. They say we have a software to be developed, and when they say that the software need to be developed, then you briefly talk with him what kind of a thing and so on and so forth. So you will get ready. That will be the planning part. Actually, during the analysis also the planning will take place. For example, now there is a major thing which is happening in the analysis stage. Now you should make your own notes, children. Please make sure that in your notebook you should make your own notes, because this is a discussion. So each time you can't just when you want to study this one, you can't each time watch the video. Of course you can watch this, but it will be consuming a lot of time. So if you dodge down the things, those information you will be recalling fast. And the planning has to happen before the analysis as well as during the analysis as well. So during the analysis, what will happen is, there's a major thing that you have to do, which is called information gathering. That means about the system that you have to build, you have to collect the information, you have to collect the facts. Because as the developer, if you are let's say you are the senior systems analyst, so you have to perfectly know, or you have to perfectly see, or perfectly you need to know what exactly to be built. That is one thing. In order to know what is exactly to be built, you need to know what is the exact requirements of the client. So let's say the client is asking for the requirements, but there are certain things that you'll do. For example, like you'll be doing like financial feasibility study. So financial feasibility, in the sense, the word feasible means whether something is possible to be done or not possible to do. So that is the word meaning of the word feasible. So feasibility studies you have to do. So financial feasibility you will do, operational feasibility that you will do, technical feasibility that you will do, right? So these are main three things. So if a feasibility study is failing, then the project will be a failure. Let's say the user requirements are very clear, what the user asks is very clear. Of course, from the developer's side, from your development company, you can give the solution as well. But let's say it is costing 1 million rupees. So that amount, let's say the firm or the company cannot afford, then in that kind of a situation, that project becomes a failure. So you cannot directly start developing the project, because without doing this data gathering or doing this analysis properly, you cannot do. So the word analysis means it's a deep and a thorough study, so which mainly involves, one is information gathering. So information gathering can be done in several ways. I don't know whether you might learn these things in other steps, other modules, but let me just introduce to you one way of information gathering, right? So let's switch on your webcams and let's take it as a small discussion. Let's discuss for about 5 minutes time. So can you switch on your webcams, children? So let's you are getting recorded as well in the video. I just want to know your comments. So what are the methods available to collect information? Yes, children, can you tell me? Anybody? Shall I ask directly from people then? Yeah, who is this?
Akmal.
Akmal. You simply do like this, child. Now Akmal is not having the webcam on, so you say, "Hi, this is Akmal." Then you start telling. Yeah. Please go ahead, Akmal. Akmal is speaking now.
Yeah. So surveys. With surveys you can gather information.
Okay, Akmal, good answer. One is surveys you can do. Survey means it's like a questionnaire, like you prepare. It will ask some easy to understand questions, and you circulate among some people, and they will fill and give you. So with the filled surveys, that you can definitely get some information, or the information can be gathered through surveys. Very good answer. Another answer?
Sir, records and histories.
Very good, Afshana. So companies or already the firm will be having their existing documents and their history of work and things like that. So you can go through those things and you can get an idea what kind of a thing need to be built over, especially like forms and things we are recording things. So which will give you a helpful what kind of information actually need to be get recorded. Very good. Going through existing records and history. Very nice. Two things you told. What else? One person can say more than one answer, no problem. Roshan Akhtar doesn't have a mic. He has said interviewing. What happened? Yes. Roshan Akhtar has said interviewing. Why is that? Yeah. Interviewing is also possible, right? Anas, can you tell about interviewing? Anas, are you there, Buddha? Now when you not switch on webcam and not switching on the mic, then how do I know they are in the class? Yeah? Let's automatically jump into this side. Tell me. Anybody like to try about interviewing? Tell me what is an interview. Abdul Malik. Pita, can you try? Is my say your mic volume is low and others mic volume is very loud. Hazam says, is my voice is clear, children? Afshana?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, clear.
Clear. Loud enough?
Yeah.
So Hazam, then something wrong with your signal, Puta. Wait for a few seconds. I think it will be okay. How is it, Hazam, now? Is it okay now? he says my voice is less, others voice he can hear well. This is the office provided microphone. I don't know, this is what I have been given, so I'm using it. Okay, let's continue. I want all of you to raise your hands. Let's see, quickly raise your hands. We'll see who is in the class and who is not in the class. Anas, you are there, right? But you are not answering. Why? Anas, I asked you a question earlier. It's auto jumping to this side. Right. Okay, no worries. Right, let's continue again. Right. So interview means it's a formal discussion, actually, children. A formal discussion in order to clarify certain things. It is like, it is not a written one definitely, but in a verbal communication, you just talk with the intended person. You will be asking or you'll be throwing questions at those people who you wish to get information from. Then you will have to get the answers noted down or recorded. That is a way that you do the interviews. Okay, so this, when you say this is an interview, like you call the interview, the client comes to your office and you do, of course you can do like that. The client meeting can be arranged in a place. So that's one thing. There are other things that you can do. One is you can create something called a creative brief. Anybody have heard about a creative brief?
No, sir.
Creative brief, we use that one in web designing, actually. Actually, for the web designing unit, you have to prepare a creative brief as well for the assignment. Creative brief is something looks like a questionnaire, but it asks very important and very detailed questions. Like, for example, it will ask you about company background and yourself. Like, then they will write their name, company's address, contact details, all things will be there. Then they say, describe your company. What type of a company? What major business activities that you do? Who are your major, what areas, products or services that you produce or you give service? Who are your main competitors?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
One boy is trying to join, sir. He cannot join because the meeting is locked.
Okay. How do you know that is in the?
He was like texting through that group, sir.
Which group, Puda?
Programming group.
Afham. Okay. Afham was can't join. I'll admit him. Wait. That person came, no, Puda. That's why I just locked the meeting.
Okay, sir.
Give me a second. Security. Okay, ask him to log now. Right. Now, new participants can join. Right. Hello? Hello? Yes? Sorry? Oh, කවුද මේ කතා කරන්නේ? හරි. ඔයාද අර මේ මේකින් ආවේ J5 ඔයාද එක ස්ටුඩන්ට් කෙනෙක්. මෙතන අනිත් ළමයින්ට ඇහෙනවද? එතකොට මේ ඔයාගේ වෙබ්සයිට් එකෙන් තමයි චෙක් කරගන්න වෙන්නේ. මම දැන් ක්ලාස් එක පටන් ගත්තාම මේ දරුවන්ගෙන් අහනවා මම ලයින් එක ක්ලියර්ද, ක්ලියර් ඇහෙනවද, ලයින් එක කැඩුණාද කියලා. එතකොට මේ අනිත් දරුවෝ කියනවා දැන් මේගොල්ලන්ට ඇහෙනවා කියලා. එතකොට ඔයාගේ පැත්තෙන් තමයි දුව චෙක් කරගන්න තියෙන්නේ. anyways මම මෙතන රෙකෝඩ් කරනවා සෙෂන් එක. ඔයා දැන් මේ මම අන්ලොක් කරා මීටින් එක ඔයා ලොග් වෙන්න, ලොග් වෙලා ඔයාගේ නම උඩ රයිට් ක්ලික් කරලා රීනේම් කරන්න. රීනේම් කළා ඔයාගේ හරි නම දාන්න. හරිද? දැන් මීටින් එක අන්ලොක් කරලා තියෙන දැන් ලොග් වෙන්න. හරි. Okay. Okay, children. Right. Others, you can hear me well, right? Right. Please confirm. Okay. Don't take time. If I ask you a question, just say whether if you can hear me. Tell me whether you can hear me well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes, sir.
Now the thing is, now that is a student. She has got registered yesterday. That's what the issue is, right? Okay. They will log in. Where was I was telling about the creative brief, children. It is recording. Yes, recording. Now those kind of questions you will ask in a creative brief, and as a document you can send it to the client and get it filled and take it back, so that you have a full set of information. So it will ask, do you have a logo? If you have a logo, have you no, do you want a redesigning of the logo? Then you will ask what main colors you would like to use for your website, if it is a website, okay, and are there any restrictions in the colors? Those kind of things you will ask. So that's the main things you will be talking with, right, in a client brief, okay. Not a client brief, creative brief, okay, creative brief. So as a task that you will have to do one creative brief for your web designing assignment, which is in the next semester, right. So that is main part is analysis. So analysis will involve information gathering. Shalik, your mic, right. Information gathering part you need to do, right. So information gathering can be done in I asked you said around 2-3 methods. We were discussing them. There's one more thing that you can do, which is observation in the sense, if you are a developer, like at the business place, you can go and check how things are happening. Let's say the people there is only one counter. Let's say there's a very huge queue. So you might think, okay, what if you can break that into 4 workstations? We put 4 after developing the computer system, so where people can stand in 4 queues, so time will be cut down in 1/4, right. So they can stand in 4 queues, and 4 people will be using computers to give the solutions. Then it will be great, it will be fast. So if you observe how things are happening, then that will be again giving you a good understanding, as well as give you a good feedback, any modifications or anything that need to be modified or done, right. Okay, we'll continue further. So again, at the end of the system analysis, what you get is the systems specification report. That is the first one. Systems specification report is a document that is you are producing after the analysis is done. And you can have the planning things also. For example, like you can have a Gantt chart, Gantt, Gantt is called Gantt chart or Gantt chart. So which will tell when the project will be started, when the analysis will be over, when the designing is going to be done, how long it's going to be taken. After the designing part, what is the other step, how long it's going to take for the coding, how long are we going to spend for the testing, and while the testing is going on, is there anything parallelly happening, and likewise in a time frame, like you can show a Gantt chart. Okay, let me show you a sample of a Gantt chart. Here children, like something like this. We don't have to go for the details, the starting dates, the time frames, things. It's like a visually it will show. There are slightly more here, January 19th to March 19th. It's going to stretch like that. So with the visually you can show things like this. So these are Gantt charts. So if anything is overlapping, which means while this process is going on, this is also starting and going on. Like, so by the time this is finishing, of course this one has already finished over here, like that. So you can map the real progress with the expected one, so it will be easy, right. Right, so that is basically about a Gantt chart for the subject CRP and MOP, management of a computer project. You will learn how to draw these things. Your teachers will teach you that how to do that. That's in the next semester. You will be having a subject called management of computer projects, right, MOP. Right, okay, let's move on. right? So that's about the analysis, right? So I hope you have taken down few things, right? So if you have taken down anything from the discussion, raise your hand while I'm discussing. If you took down anything, raise the hand. Anything you wrote down. Okay, Afshana and Ahzam, Yunus have done, right? Netmi has done. Good, good, right? Okay, put your hands down, right? People have taken down their own notes, right? Very good, right? Okay. Not only that, children, but also you try to now if you have written the word only analysis, you try to describe that in your own words. What do you mean by analysis? These are the things that is involving in the analysis. Why do we do the analysis? In analysis, what are the things involving? What do you mean by data gathering? Why do we do a data gathering? What sort of ways are there to do the data gathering? For example, like observation, feedback sheets, questionnaires, surveys, interviews, creative briefs, etc. So you can talk about those things, right? All right. Okay. In the final assignment, I'm not sure whether you have to produce notes on these things. This is I'm teaching you for your knowledge, okay? Because you are studying the software development, so without having an idea about software development life cycle, it's better not that we move forward, okay? Right. Let's move on. Next step is about the design. Though this slide is one small slide that we need to do a lot of things, right? Design, right? So I think my webcam is clear to you, everybody. Is my webcam is designed? Is it clear?
Yeah, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Watch this. Now I'll show you some examples. Okay. I'll show you not a device. This is one I'm using. This is my personal one. I bought it here to my office table. Does anybody know what is this? Yeah, this other I can't hear. Yeah, what is this? Anybody? Any guess?
No idea, sir.
No idea, right? Watch this. When you want to type something, you can place a A4 sheet or a paper. It nicely stays like this. See? I have been using this one nearly 18 years, maybe. It's a very old one with me. So I used it. So that is what this device does. Okay, right, fine. Show you something else. This is my mask. Okay. That's my mask. Okay. Now, this mask, there are different types of masks, right? Now, the basic purpose of having the mask is to cover your nose and the mouth, mouth, not the mouth, like this. So, when you want to do that one, we need to come up with the mechanism to now. You can have a solution like, okay, you design the mask. There are no straps here, so you have to hold the mask like this. So while I'm doing the session, I have to hold like this and do. If I want to type something, then I'm in trouble. Can't do. Okay. Or else I have to leave this mic here while I have to type, then the sound will be really less. So there is a solution here, all of you know that. There is a strap like this, then you put it like this. Okay. Now it is staying very clearly. Okay. These are no big deal. Okay. My point is, so we didn't talk anything about software right here. I showed you a device like this. I showed you this. I can show you other things as well here. Can show you a lot of things. See this one I'm using. Another one. This is, I really like this because in the field, if you want to go and take notes without your papers running here and there, there's a way. This is a device we are using. So this device has a design. Okay, so I showed you around 3 examples for you. Can you suggest me what is the design is? If you wish, you can switch on your webcams. Okay. Yes. What is a design in your point of view? Anyone? What is a design? You know the answer, you don't know that. You can try, give it a try.
Make the things beautifully.
Okay, Rahman says, make the things beautiful. That designing is doing this graphics designing, web designing, that design. Of course, that is also a word, but here the design is something else, the different I'm asking.
Sir,
Planning.
tell me again.
Sorry, Sabir?
Tell me again.
Pada, your line is breaking, I think. Your signal is not enough. That's the issue. So you will get it from the video anyway. I think your line is breaking. Sabir, your connection check.
Now, sir.
Still breaking, Pada. Anyone else would like
Yes,
to
sir,
try?
my connection is
Anyone else can try?
Hello, sir.
Yes, Pada. Anas. Tell.
Yeah, sir.
Can
A sketch.
a sketch. You mean the movie like a sketch? What they do?
No, sir. Like an architecture.
Okay. Can you elaborate your answer? Elaborate means explain it.
Yeah.
The process of coding. Who has said this? Process of coding. One person has said. Prashant Akhtar said. Akmal said an idea of how should the product be. A plan of a development process. Are you using Google or your own idea? Anas? Anas
Excuse
says.
me, sir.
Yes, Anas, Pata. Tell.
It is like a sample which we do. I mean, which we take on process before doing. I mean, before doing the original one.
That is something like a model or a prototype.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All the answers are not wrong, right? So you are trying to tell about it, but all the answers are not wrong. There are modifications can be done, or you can improve the answer to make or draw plans or something. There's a lot of answers coming in, right? Very good. I can still give you time. Try. Ashik, Malik, Abdul Malik.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. Tell.
A plan to produce something.
A plan to produce something. Okay. What else? The correct word is not there. You are saying that. Why do we have to have a plan? Okay. Look at this mouse. This mouse is visible to you now, right? I think it's very visible now. Can you see there's a curve like this, right? If we check, do you know who introduced this mouse first? Who introduced this mouse first? Apple company is the one who came up with the solution, my mouse concept. So the very basic mouse they had was like a matchbox like this, which had two buttons, and it is very hard on your hand when you are doing those things. So someone has come up with a design because your hand is naturally there is a curve like that. So holding a mouse like this, it's not difficult. It's ergonomically very pleasing to work with the mouse like that. Hold the mouse and do. Now nowadays we do gaming, and sometimes we do a lot of work. When two buttons were not enough, then there's another one button given. Mainly this button is for the scrolling part, as well as it is a button also where you can press that also. So like in a game or something, if you want to reload the gun or something, then you can do those things. That is possible. So actually your answers were very close, and it is merely right. Actually it is a plan, or it is a way of solving a problem. Actually it is a method to solve the problem, right? That is why I showed you this mask earlier. There is a problem, or there is a challenge to keep it without falling there, holding it here. So that was a challenge. So this is the strap tech method they have come up with. Okay, so that's one idea. I hope you understood that. Okay, so basically the design is finding a solution for the problem. So finding a solution for the problem is what is known as a design. How many of you understood that? How many of you understood that? Because if it is a physical class, I could show you, right? Okay, you can lower your hand. Now I think you can see I am seated in a this is a office type of a chair which has a high back, we say. So it is neck rest is also there. then this can be tilted something like this. So this is, I can rest like that. If I want to type, I can come forward. This some angle bending is there, so it is there in the design. Because if it is always like this, when I want to type something or when I want to do a class, it's difficult. I can't come to the webcam and speak. Let's say I want to come closer to the webcam and show something, then this chair is allowing me to do. Apart from that, there is a lever here. I can lower the height as well as I can increase the height. So that is a problem solving method. So that means for a problem, it is a solution given, right? I can show you some more things. I don't know, the cable is not, wait. I think you can see things. This is the casing, okay. This is a i7 PC, which is given from the office. This PC has there are fans going on, right? So there are both. I don't know whether it's clear enough, but here you can see very clearly there are holes in the casing. There is a hole in this area. There is a reason, because when this is working really fast, it may get lot of heat. So in order to absorb cool air, to pump out the air, there is a fan here, but here this casing has been designed to solve that problem of extra heat. So they have put not a covered one, but an open one, like a grill. Why they have used a grill? Because small insect and lizards and things should not go inside, but yet the air can flow in, right? Then only it can do the work, right? Right, let me hold it. Yeah, good. So I hope you understood the idea. So design means is a solution for a problem. Solution for a problem. Hereafter, when you see a product, look at a car, right? Look at a car. Look at a building, how why it is designed in such a way. Columns, why they have put like this, right? So in a vehicle, why it is built something like that. If you get a new device or if you get a new equipment, see the design in that, how it is been designed, what kind of a problem has it, is it solving. I can show you a lot of examples here. In the world around us is full of examples. Now if you see here, these are my cupboards. I think you have seen my office, right? So, oh my god, just give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Here, this part you can see these are cupboards, right? These are small cupboards. So it's locked. Okay. So if you want to open a cupboard, right? So if this is not there, imagine, then you have to try putting the hand somewhere there, or put a pen there, and you want to open. So that is a problem. So in order to easily open the door, this is a problem solving way. So someone has invented this kind of a handle for a door. If you put that, easily open and it can easily close. In order to make it more safe, someone has put a, what do you call, a lock has been introduced. So it is a safe cupboard, right? Okay, so in any product that you see, you can see there's a design in it, right? A way of design has been done. So I'm using this one here. You can see this is my this is for my Toastmaster sessions. So a bell like, so that is also have been designed in such a way. So simple design is there. When I press, simply it hits. Someone has come up with a solution, so it brings a nice sound. Right. Okay. The thing is, in the video it is not getting recorded, children, but I am doing the demonstration because the webcam is over here. Webcam is over here. That is not getting recorded, right? Only the PowerPoint presentation is getting recorded. Right. Let's go continue. Was that information enough for you? Did you like it? Or you can give your feedback quickly. We will move on.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. It was easy, right? Easy for you to understand. Right. Nice. One second. Right, got it. So design is the process of understanding the system's specification report. What is the user is requiring, what is the user's requirement, what the user is asking you to build, what sort of features the user is asking you to build, and coming up with the solution. What exactly need to be created. For example, think about this. You are an architect. Your customer tells that I have a 10 perch land. In the 10 perch, for 5 perch the building should come, and it should be a 3-story building. But down floor I want, no, without saying like that, he will say I want a small car park like needed, without wasting much space and all. I need these kind of things. Then they will say, okay, now you are a designer or a architect will design this, right? So when you are designing in your mind, let's say if you design or if you give a solution where the house is coming for 8 perch and only 2 perch land is remaining, customer will not accept the project. And the same thing, let's say in the second floor you put the car park, then how are you going to do? How are you going to park the car? Anas is saying again, input, processing and output procedure, right? Not exactly, Anas. Designing, I'll come to that point. Input, processing and output, I'll come. But I am telling here, Pata, that is for a computer program, it is something related, what you're saying, input, processing and output. But you can publicly chat, no worries. Right, so my idea here is giving a proper solution for a problem is known as the designing, right? That design can be it can be a blueprint, it could be a plan, it could be a sketch, it could be some steps written down on something, right? The plan could be in different, that plan can be expressed in different ways. So since we are learning software development life cycle or software development, the design can be expressed or the design can be done in different. Okay, right. Again, Roshan Akhtar says it means understanding the user requirements and giving a solution. Yeah, but when you say that giving the solution, Pata, it gives the overall picture of the software development life cycle, which means analyze it, design it, then develop the system and give like. So I am specifically speaking about the design stage itself. Actually, without the help of a computer also, we can do the designing here. Okay, because I'll tell you why and how, right? Okay, that's possible. Okay, so up to this point, did you understand? But do you have an idea what is the design now? Quickly.
Yeah, sir.
Right. Anybody having any doubts? Any unclear areas before we move on to the coding part? Other parts are easy.
No, sir.
No worries, right? Okay, good. Malik, what about you? Have you got your mic? Are you there? Can you raise your hand? Malik is there. Why? Do you have a mic or you don't have a mic? Netmi, what about? Yeah.
I have a mic, sir.
All right. Okay. Netmi. How about you? Netmi, do you have a mic? What about Samadhi? Is she there? Oh yeah, she's there. Netmi, did you understand? Can do it. You understood? Hello, your line is breaking, is it? Ah, okay, good. Dil Ruani, that is a newcomer. Yeah. How about you, Dua? Did you understand? Did you hear me well? Samadhi, what about you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dil Ruani's line is okay. Samadhi?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, right. Others also, there is a person called Shuhail. Shuhail, what about you?
Okay, sir.
Okay, right, good, nice. Because your feedback is really important, you know. It is not merely what I know about programming. At the end of the course, how much you know programming. It's about you, okay? It's all about you. How I can make you better developers. It's a starting stage, right? So if we have to put the foundation really strong, so the building can go way up, right? Okay, let's move on to the next part. Cool. So a problem to a solution, right, is normally used as the design, right? So design can be expressed in different ways. So I think last week also I did something, a pseudocode, and developed a program and showed you, right? So today also I'll show you something like that, and my NetBench is also already here, right? Let's create a new program. If I speak like this, still is it line is clear? I have left my mic down.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
sir, it's clear.
Right, let this program be there. Let me give you a small in the notepad software, right? So we will have a design, right? Let's tell the customer's requirement first of all, or the user's requirement. I am coming back to what Anas said here. He is saying it's an input processing and output procedure. Then he's saying something like that for the design. So we will see whether how far it's true or whether it is exactly what we can do. The question or the requirement. Let's say what is the requirement, right? We say we need to add 3 numbers and find the average of those entered numbers, right? So this is a software development task, or this is a program directly we have to come up with. So the problem here is add 3 numbers we need to do. That's one thing. Then find the average. That's another thing we need to do in the program. And after that, we need to display the average. So customer asks, or customer's requirement is he or she should be able to give 3 numbers to the computer, and the computer should find the average and it should give the output. I will train you on this one, don't worry how to do this one. So this problem, or this system's requirement, this is the requirement we have come up with, can be done in the design. We can do that in a pseudocode. We can do a pseudocode. Pseudocode is nothing but written text, right? So it follows a syntax, so it follows some standard. It's not like spoken English, but it's more closer to coding, but it's not written in any real programming code. How we do that is, we will do now if you take a look at this one, you don't have to understand a single line of Java here in order to understand this code. You know what is a computer program, right? I can't show you my desktop because I'm using dual screen, children, here. Okay, you can manage with this one. Try to manage with the webcam video. If you pin my video, it will be there, so you can pin my video, right? So if you select on the desktop, there are a lot of applications here. There are apps here. Now let's say there is a app here called MS Word or Microsoft Word here, this one, right? So if I want to start that, right, I will click on this, right? And Microsoft Word is usually used in order to make word process, or in order to create Word documents. So you can see I am not still creating any Word document. This is my other screen, dual screen, right? So if I want to start creating the Word documents, I need to start the program. That has to happen. The program has to be first started. That is naturally we need to do. Ashik, yeah, we're going to click on the icon, right? And let's see, here Word is loading now, right? Word got loaded, so I'm going to select a blank document. Now there we go. Word document has got loaded, right? Now if I want to type something, let's say I'm going to increase the font, so I just increase the font, then I can start typing. Let's say I want to select this and change the color, then I can simply do that, right? So this software allows me to do that. In order to do that one, this software first has to be started. Now I'm working with this one. Once I finish work in this program, I can close this program by clicking here, right? I just closed it, right? Let's go back. Now so our algorithm or our design should have a part, the program should be started. We are giving a solution to the problem. Program should be started. At a time after finish working, we should stop the program also, isn't it? So start the program, stop the program. Inside this, the body of the program, that is the one who is going to do the work for you, right? So stop, we will keep it for a while. So we can use start, begin, like this. I would like to start the word start. Then it says add 3 numbers. So to the computer, I should be able to give the numbers to the computer. So we can't say directly again add 3 numbers. This is again too high level, too generic. So you need to tell the computer in a way, or using instructions you have to tell the computer how it can be done. So we say input, you can say something like the first number, second number, third number. You need to remember them. So I'm going to teach you these things in a different lesson called data items. So I will tell you about cardboard boxes and how to remember things, how not to remember things and all. For the time being, just look at it, how I'm writing the pseudocode. It is the design. I don't want the user to just type a number like this, N1 or number 1 or A, B, C, right? So I'm going to take something like NO1, number 1, right? I want a label also there. Say, it should say enter first number. Then this should be displayed. Number 1 you are entering. Then it is asking for the second number. Enter second number. Then it should ask enter third number. Right? So we are maintaining whatever the user is entering, NO1 or number 1, number 2, number 3 in 3 data items or 3 variables. We will learn about these variables in shortly. After we get this, so it says add 3 numbers to find the average. So add 3 numbers part done. We have designed the program in a way, we started the program, we got the 3 numbers from the user. Now it says find the average. So in order to do certain operations, you need to know the basic things. Like if you want to find the average of something, what is the way of finding the average of numbers? First you add all the numbers together, then you divide by the number of numbers. Now for example, in your class, now today there are 20 participants, including myself. Let's assume I am also a student. So we all score marks for the programming subject. So I want to say the class average mark, an average of a student who takes in programming how much. So each person's mark, like Ahzam to the last one is Dilroni in the class, I think here. Yeah, she's the one who is displayed last here. So starting from Ahzam to Dilroni, everybody's mark we have to add. Each one's mark we have to add one by one by one by. We have to add. So we will get a total mark. That total mark we have to divide by the number of students available, which is 20. So let's assume we had the mark as 200 is the total mark. So you divide that by 20, then you will get the answer, right? So how we do that is, so we can say total. We can say a word like actually in a pseudocode we can say find total. Then you can put the assignment operator, or you can use this symbol. I will explain these things later when we are writing actually pseudocodes. This is not the lesson we are writing pseudocodes. This is just the beginning of the lessons, right? So I like to use the equal sign without confusing you. I'll do that. Find total. So you can't say directly how to find the total. You say number 1 need to get added with number 2, and that one again need to get added with number 3. Then you can say find average. That you can say the total is divided by 3. Then you can say display, the final part. We have got things. We have, this is the heart of the program. It is the heart of the program, where the main process is happening. So once we find the average, we can display. So we say average is, we can say average. Then everything is done, we can stop the program, right? So you can't copy this and paste it in NetBeans software and you can't expect it to run. You can't copy and paste this in Visual Studio and expect it to run in VB or C# or Python or R, whatever the programming language that you're going to try. It's not going to work because this is in pure English. This is in general English, but it's a bit technical. It is a way of an algorithm. Algorithm we have spent. What is an algorithm? Algorithm is a way of solving something. Okay, I taught you about that last week, right? So side by side we're going to do, right? Now I'm going to convert this design. This is the design. That is what is called as the coding step. So if we go here, converting the design, that means the solution for the problem, into a working program which is implemented or which is coded in a real programming language like C++, C, Pascal, Java, VB.NET, C#, R, Python, whatever the programming, PHP, whatever the programming language you like, you can code this, right? All right, so I'm going to do the coding and show you. It's very easy, right? First step is there is a small setup I need to do in the program because I need to get the keyboard input. So in order to get the keyboard input, there are a lot of built-in tools, right? Built-in tools. Now, for example, if I am a carpenter, I want to make a table, right? So basically, if I am an experienced carpenter, what I need is, I need the raw material, which is basically the wood. Then I need the tools. Am I correct? Right. So let's say I have pieces of wood. Then I want to make it a table, nice looking table. What I would do, I will first of all use the measuring tapes to measure them, mark them, right? Listen up, first measuring tape I used. Then I will use the saw. If I am using power tools, I will use power cutting devices. Then screwdrivers, hammers, nails, a lot of other things are there. Tools, carpentry tools there, drill machines, all the things I can use. Now imagine when I want to have the table built, and I want to put a nail there. The hammer I'm going to use. So no one will be creating their own hammer first. Now I'm going to build a table. Okay, keep the table building process aside. I'm going to first build all my tools. Saw, tape, nail is ridiculous, right? Hammer, drilling machines, cutting machines, everything I'm going to build. So it will take about a long time. Then only you're going to do the table. It's not like that. If you are a carpenter, you will have a toolbox, or you'll have a nice cupboard where all the tools are there. You go there, open the cupboard, access the toolkit, you have all the things. Hammer is there, nail sets are there, different size nails are there, drill machine is there, drilling, threads are there, everything is there. Bring them, use the tool for the right task. Is my idea is clear? Just like that, children, when you're building a Java program comes with a huge class library, or else you can say it comes with a huge built-in programs or toolkit. So what you're simply going to do is you can use the tools which is necessary for the job. Now if you want to take the input from the keyboard, there is a program already built for that. That program is known as the scanner class. So as the programmer, when you're learning this one, you will first learn these things. Okay, if I want to get from someone, you have to learn this. Carpentry also I have to learn from a senior boss or senior carpenter. So same like that, what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you what program or what tool that you need to use in order to build this one, right? Okay. So we're going to say scanner. Scan is assigned to new scanner. And here we say system.in. These things I will teach you later, don't go for details. Now you can see it is underlined and in red, which means the computer does not know what is this scanner means now. Okay, so we have to give a small introduction. So I am saying I need a scissor, I need a saw, I need a measuring tape. Okay, you can have it, but if you want to have the the saw and all, you need to access the cupboard. In the cupboard you have the tools, or inside the toolkits you have it. So you have to instruct the computer where this tool is, where this scanner class is, you have to tell. Then you can use that. Very simple. So I'm going to say import, make it available, take it. So that's the command. Import means you don't need to understand, or you don't need to learn Java to understand this part. Okay, so how we do that is import. You say you go to the Java package, because it has lot of other packages. Let's say you open the main cupboard, there's each section is there. Each sections are this applet, AWT, beans like. So we want to go to utils package. This is another package, utility package. And if you keep the dot, there are so many programs available inside the utility package. See, all these things are available, you can use. You did not write a single line of code for them. You did not write a single line of code for this. This has already been built for you. Only thing that you need to do is you just need to use the right program for the right job. So I'm going to use java.util. I'm going to say scanner. It's already there. So when I put the semicolon, you can see this error message has gone. Now our program is having access to a screwdriver. It is having access to the cutting saw. It is having the access to the measuring tape. All the things are sanding machine. Everything is possible. Whatever the tool you want, take it up. If you are lazy to take one by one, so you can give access to the entire toolbox. The carpenter will have access to the entire toolbox, but this is not recommended. This is the way it's better to do. Right. Now down here what we're going to do is, now getting the input tool is ready. Now we should use that tool properly and get the job done. Now I'll show you the design once more before we build the real product. So if you take a look at this one, starting is there. So this is the line the program will start. Any computer program, Java programs, they run from the main method. I will teach you this. I will teach you this one in the Java class, Java programming class. I'll teach you. Okay, right. So in public static void main part is there. This is the place a Java program will start to run. So start is done. Input or program is ready to take the input. Now we have to ask the user or person who is using software to give the input. So I'm going to write something like this. S out. S out means in this computer screen print something. I'm going to say enter number 1. I said first number, right? So first number, right? Then the user will type a number. The type number we need to store somewhere. I'm going to say int no is assigned to this. I will teach you in Java how to get a keyboard input. This line is the one, line number 11 is the line where we actually receive the value. Here we wrote that in one line directly. Here there is no way of doing it directly. We have to use 2 lines of coding to get this design done. Okay, get this actual design done. It says we should display a label to the user, enter first number. So it is very obvious, very clear what the user should do. And the number that the user types, where it is going to get stored, it is going to be stored in a place called no1 number 1, right? So without wasting time, I can copy paste this code in and save some time. So we'll say this is number 2, enter second number, and the third number. Right, number 1, number 2, number 3. Now what we do is we're going to say we can find the total. So we say int total is assign the value no1 plus no2 plus no3. So actually I said coding, this is the coding, real coding, converting the design into a working program. See, this line of code is directly there in the answer. See, side by side, if you see, it's very obvious. See this highlighted parts, 2 highlighted parts. Find total, it says no1 is added with no2 plus no3. Same thing here, but this is in Java syntax. The int part in front you have to put because it is Java coding. We will learn this one in Java, why we put like that. Now it is not necessary. The design is converted into real code, right? Next line is also the same. I'm going to do averages dividing the total by 3. Okay, so that I'm going to do float average is assigned to total divided by 3f. Okay, so why we put a f, why we took this one as float, we will learn that in Java, not here. Okay, now the program is done. We have found the average of those three numbers. We're going to output that because the design says after finding the average, display that in the screen. See, display average is, and display what you found. After that you can stop the program. Program is stopping here. Okay, right, so we found the average. Let's display that. So to display the average, say s out, you can say average is there, comma, we put plus here because it's Java. Say average. So you have successfully converted your design into a real working program, right? In a way, the procedural programming, as Anas was earlier saying, it is a way of identifying what is the inputs and identifying what is the correct process to get the correct output. Input, process, output. In that is the fashion we're going to build the programs. So let's give it a try. We'll run this program and see how it's going to work, right? So shift F6. So this program is working now. Let me increase the font for you. Enter first number, right? So I'm going to type a number there. Let's say type 50. I press the enter key. It's saying enter second number. Let's type 50 again. Now you know the total is 100. So we will type 100 again. So total is going to be 200. 200 divided by 3, it is 6 point something going to come, right? See, that's how it is the answer coming. Let's try once again. Shift F6. This time we will give some other numbers. 65, 75, 125. The total is coming and all the correct decimal places also properly coming, right? So there are shortcomings in the program. For example, if you type 50, 50, 50.0, it is also 50, program will crash now. It will crash. There are reasons for that. When you go to the Java programming, I'll teach you why is that. Typing 50 and typing 50.0 is not the same. There are differences. We will be learning this one on the data types. So here it is designed to accept only integers. That's why. Hope you understood this one. Did you clearly understand what do you mean by analysis, design and code in part is? Please give me your feedback, children, quickly. Did you understand that? With an example, I just proved it, what I did and what I said to you.
Yes, I understood.
Okay.
So I understand a little bit, sir.
Sabir understood a little bit. Why is that?
I don't know, sir. My connection is unsuitable.
Your connection
That's the problem.
So you understood part of it. So what you do, Puta, you watch the video once again, and if you do have the doubt, I'll be definitely doing the session tomorrow, right? Inshallah, I'll be doing it tomorrow. So during the class, you can check it. Today itself, you watch the video, and you can
Yes, sir.
you can forward it and watch it up to the point which you didn't understand. Then of course, tomorrow if you do have any doubts, you can ask me. So I will clear it anyway. Anyway, tomorrow also we are doing a recap. After that only we are doing the class. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Nice. Right. So we did up to the I explained you up to design part. Then coding is the process of, if you have not written any notes, you can just dodge it down in your own words. Like coding is the process of converting the plan, or the plan means what, design, that is the working solution for a problem. There's another answer coming, like Roshan Akhtar is asking, sir, design can be designed only in pseudocode. Answer is no, Puta, because we are doing structured programming or procedural programming part first, so we have to use a tool which can go close with that. So procedural way of doing programs, pseudocode is the best tool that we can use. Software design in overall, if you take, for example, if you are doing a programming in object-oriented fashion, you are not going to do pseudocodes. You will never write pseudocodes. You, instead of pseudocodes, you are going to use UML, Unified Modeling Language, which has 14 types of diagrams. Using those design methodologies, you can do the design. Excuse me. You can use, for example, if you are doing a database solution, database also can be designed. So databases can be designed using ER diagrams, data flow diagrams you can show for the systems. So different diagrams will show different types of aspects. Then they are asking, Anas asking, is int and float variables used in Java programming? In Java also you have integer, float and things like that, Puta. but the way you have spelled is not correct. Java has 8 data types: byte, short, int, long, float, double boolean, char, like. So there are 8 data types. Then in what do you call, if you go for C++, Visual Basic.NET, Python, they will have different. If you come to PHP, there will be different types of data types will be available according to the type of programming language that you are learning. Yes, there will be different types of data. In Java, yes, integer and floats are available. Then Roshan Akhtar is asking, then sir, then flowcharts, can we use it for design? Of course. Roshan Akhtar, for this one we are going to teach you flowcharts as well. Flowchart is a tiny piece we will learn because we are not going to spend too much of time on that. So I want you people to understand the problem, properly solve the problem using an algorithm, represent it using a pseudocode, and write the correct code. I want you to get that transformation. So it won't automatically happen unless you try the codes that I give you. You have to do it properly, right? Netmi said, sir, I understood bit. Okay, it is okay, Dua, because these are starting lessons now. Slowly you will be able to understand. I would recommend you to check the video once again. Some of you are having the problem because of the connection issue. You can't follow. Now, for example, if you do not follow properly, what do you mean by design? Then I would say in coding, you convert the working plan into a working program means. Then you think, what is working plan? What is that design is? Because you didn't understand the previous part, it is difficult. So I would strongly recommend watch the video. Then we can proceed further. Okay. Right, so that is about the designing part. So I said code and implement means representing the design using a real programming language, and creating the real programming program is known as the coding part and the implementing part. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Afshana.
Coding is executing the plan, right?
It is a way of executing the plan, because child, after you design it, design is the solution. You can't execute the design, you know, but you have to write the real instructions using a real computer programming language. Then only you have a real computer program. That step is known as coding or implementing. That is the one you can execute. Yes, design you cannot execute, code part you can execute. Did that clear?
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Right. So that part is known as the implementing part. So here you should not get a wrong interpretation when we say implementing or implement. It is not the implementing that you take the project and go and put it in the client's computer and in the client's office. It's not that implementing. Here the design we implement in a working program, or convert it into a real working instructions written in a real computer programming language. That's what it is. Okay. Right. Let's do the next part, which is the testing part, right? Okay. So I think the time is now 11:11, so we can discuss these two things, and we can stop the session with a small recap once again, right? Okay, of what we discussed today. So we have spent plenty of time on this slide, children. So tomorrow it will be again necessary. I will do a tiny recap of this one tomorrow. And before coming to tomorrow's session, if you didn't understand anything, I would strongly recommend that you watch the video and come. Alright, so the testing part. Can anybody tell why we do a test? Anas has put, yeah sir. For why did you put, yeah, you understood. I understood the design part, but little bit understood coding part, sir. Rahman says, coding part little bit understood. I am saying you don't have to understand the coding part now, because Java programming still I did not teach you. So what I meant is, we had a problem, that this is a question. Then I showed you a design. There is a solution from the problem. 1 second please, children. Hello children, can you hear me again? Hello?
Yes,
Okay, right.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
continue.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, I was going through your comments. Yes. So because one person had put they didn't understand a little bit of coding part. My point is, still we did not start to learn coding. Coding will be separately. Java programming separately I'm going to teach you after we complete the pseudocode designing. In pseudocode we will spend nearly 2-3 weeks. right? Pseudocodes we have to write minimum of around 12 or 15 pseudocodes we have to write. So you are you will be able to do some programs, right? Okay, so let's talk about the testing part, right? So I'm going to ask from you to find logical error. Okay, so Azam says to find logical error. Why we do the testing, I think he's answering. Okay, then they say Roshan Akhtar says before installing we should test the program to find errors, find bugs. Okay, you can switch on the mic and tell also why we will do the testing. To find the logical errors, to find errors, bugs, what else? Important answer. Why do we do the testing? Let's assume, I'll give you a scenario. Let's assume your program is functioning without any problem. Program is working without any issue. The program is working without any issue, right? Right, so this is easy because we are doing the recording. Noisy, sir. Is my line is not clear now, children?
Yes, sir.
Sir, not for you, sir. His mic is noisy.
Okay, Putala, and listen up. I was going to tell you about the testing. The important thing that you are missing, of course, I agree with you. With the testing, you can find the errors. You can find the bugs. Of course, errors are also known as bugs. Now, is that only why we do the testing? Because, let's say you have a program. When you run the program, it works fine. It works awesome. It works not awesome, of course, it works. But it is not giving an error. It's not giving an error. It is not signaling a bug. Still, is the program is right?
So it's not giving the expected answers.
Yeah, that's what my point is. Program is working, but it's not giving you the expected answer. So, what's the conclusion? Is that software has been built right? Is that software has been built right?
No, sir.
So how do you make sure it is built right or it's not built right?
You input different variables and then you see the result and check whether it's expected.
Okay, that's also correct. It's like this. Now, children, the very first step was what? What is the first step? Analyzing, isn't it? After analyzing, what was the output? Systems specification report. So the system specification report will clearly it will say what exactly the system is capable of doing, or what exactly the system will provide, what these features will be there. So in the testing, as you said, it is the process of executing the program with the deliberate intention of finding and fixing bugs. That's one reason. That is one thing we do testing. Number two, we need to make sure the software that we built is 100% or exactly meeting the client's requirements. The user requirements are met or not, we need to make sure very correctly. So that is why one student said we have to input all the values correctly. We have to give the inputs and check all the outputs whether they are coming right or wrong. I agree with you. So we have user requirements. We have what is exactly expected by the user. We need to create the exact expected system. So in the testing, we can check side by side with the expected requirements with the actual requirement what you have built. Is it clear? Is it clearly understood? That is what you mean by you can give the feedback quickly. If you didn't understand, I will have to explain it once more. Two things, right? So user requirements need to be properly met. If the user requirements are not properly met, what will happen? You are not producing the right program. Clear?
Yeah, sir, clear.
Right, so that is about the testing, right? So that's about the testing. So if you're making notes, I think my explanations are very clear and easy for you to understand. Very precisely I'm saying, so easy. I'm not giving you lot of lines and lot of information. What is needed only in a point form, like I have said. If you have dodged down things, or if it is not possible to write down now when you're watching the video once again, please make sure that you have a proper note, not a lengthy one, only the required things, right? Testing is actually experimenting a particular process or method for trying or assessing. That's also correct. Executing and checking whether it is correctly meeting the system requirements. Right. Okay. Let's do the last one, which is this one. This is the last one, which is review and maintenance. Let's also we'll discuss that. Can anybody tell me why it is important to have maintenance? It could be a software product, it could be a real product like a vehicle, or even your house. It could be an office. See, my office really needs a maintenance. Okay, see my table and the rest. So we really need some kind of a maintenance. Can you guess why? People are searching Google, that's why you're silent.
No, sir.
Children, feel free to talk. I don't like that being very professional, or like very what do you say that, very official, huh?
Being very formal.
Yeah, no need to be very formal, okay, you know what, because I'm not going to catch you and eat you, right? So just be casual, talk to me, it's okay, you can have fun, and you should learn. Because if the learning environment is very friendly, and if the learning environment is really happy and interesting only, rest of the things will happen, you know. Learning it comes next. You should be first of all comfortable, you should like the subject, you should be able to understand it properly, then only the other things can come. Becoming a software engineer and all the things can come slowly. Other things we need to make sure. That is why also I started a channel for you. Our WhatsApp group is there, where we can discuss freely things, or not disturbing the official group. So make use of it. Yeah. And I think I have opened a Edmodo class also. Did I send you the link, Edmodo class, for you? I think no, right? I will create a class in Edmodo. So when I ask you to submit class tasks and metric tasks, you can upload it to there. I can check and give my feedback. So I will do that one as well, right? Shall we move on to the next part, last part? Review and maintenance. I'm asking why we need maintenance. I showed you an example also. Tell maintenance.
Sir,
Yeah.
to give systems its maximum productivity or something.
To give the system's maximum productivity. Can't you do without the maintenance? So soon after you develop, Afshan, I'm just asking for an argument. Soon after you develop the system, won't it give the maximum output? Maintenance, I'll tell you one more thing. Maintenance, you're not going to do immediately. But definitely you're going to do. Not immediately, because maintenance will be needed after some time, right? And why is that?
Yeah.
That's what point is.
To ensure it runs the same as it in a long run.
Yeah, why is that? What is happening in the long run then? Yes, in the long run, what happens to the program? Or take a vehicle. Okay, you have a bike, right? If you have a bike, when you buy a bike, okay, it is in very 100% awesome condition, its running condition. You use that bike for about 6 months. So don't you think you have to give it a service, or don't you think that you need to look into some areas, you need to make any modifications, you need to change the oil? Changing the oil is a part of maintenance, am I correct? changing
Yes,
the
sir. It
liners,
is.
changing the cables, maybe oiling the cables. If you have a bike, you might know. If you have a vehicle, you might know all these things. At home you always keep it very clean and tidy, don't you? Especially the kitchen and other area have to be very everyday, like it needs maintenance. Am I correct? Otherwise it will be not in a condition, and a pleasant condition for you to live and work. Even your room is the same. Okay, so if you take my wall, certain has gone down. My wall is full of this motivation stuff. Certain things have fallen down because of this corona. Nothing with the corona, because it was things like this. So this is right. So I have put some nice quotes and things like that, right? So this is one of my favorite thing. Do you see? Abdul Kalam is my favorite person. So these things I'm keeping just to motivate myself, right? So when I feel like tired or having some trouble, I'm doing like I'm showing like these things. That is a drawing I did. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay, I'll tell you the answer. It's 5 minutes left. Right. It's like this. Maintenance is needed in the long run, children. Now at the analysis stage, what happened was we identified some users' requirements, then we came up with a solution, that is the design, then we implemented, that was the coding, and we implemented it. After some time, once the time is running up, let's say the users' requirements can change. Let's say you have a data entry system where you are entering some data, basic system. Likewise, let's say around 5 years back you implemented the system, and by then you did not wanted to have a barcode reading system or a QR code reading system or QR code reading facility. You did not wanted by then. Now the customer wants you to add that facility, or that requirement is highly needed now. What you would think now, because the existing system is lacking some features. If the existing system need to provide services very well, we need to do what do you call that, barcode values need to be input. Then what do you call this, QR code should be able to read this. If you want to make modifications to the existing system, then what you need to do is, children, again you need to go from this step, review and maintenance. Review and maintenance means first you have to analyze again what is the system, how it is working, what are the new changes needed. Then you have to come up with a plan how the new changes can be implemented there. That is the designing part. Then you will actually implement that. That means you will code it. Then again the new changes and the other things, it is properly working. Is the user requested this one? Is it properly fulfilling the user's requirement? You need to test that. I didn't tell much about the testing. There are different types of testing you do: white box testing, black box testing, unit testing, integrated testing, load testing, user acceptance testing, etc. Right? So once you do the tests, and if your system passes the tests, that ensures that you have built the correct system. Then it can run again for some time, and after that, when modifications again needed, it can be introduced. Okay, it can be introduced, right? So now the time is 11:27. So that is the lesson I have planned to discuss with you. Please remember, children, this lesson, software development life cycle, though you're going to learn in other subjects later when you come to maybe application API, application programming interface, or advanced programming, or DBMS, if DSA. If you're going to go for all those subjects, the lesson that you learned today will be the basic. This is going to help you highly the full software development life cycle. Okay, so how was the lesson today? Did you understand something, and did you get the lessons properly? And you can quickly give a feedback.
Sir, I also little bit, sir.
Who is this?
Sabir.
Because of the line, Nedabata, some parts you couldn't understand.
Yes, sir.
Please watch the video. Now I will post it
Yes.
now. What about others, children? How was the
No, sir.
lesson? Okay, right?
You can post the group.
I will see how I can post it, because it's a big file, around 200-300 MB it will come. So I'll see how I can post it. Okay. Any other doubts, children? Right. Once again, we will do a tiny recap and we will finish. So I started with the recap. I started from here itself. I took you back. I said what is a computer program. Then I said types of computer programs. I said computer programs are a set of instructions written using a computer programming language to do a task. If you take any program, mobile app or a web app or a game or a graphics design software or a data entry program, that criteria matches this. Then we learnt about some roles, but any differences between a programmer and a software engineer. I clearly mentioned that a software engineer is a higher rank or a higher grade than a programmer, and what sort of skills they should have and what sort of things that you should develop. Then we talked about the software development life cycle. This is the place where we spent a lot of time, and I was trying to explain you the matters, and I was trying to explain you new terms, and I hope you took down notes as well. That is the basic idea. Okay, so I think software development SDLC doc, I have a document, I think a note on these things. Let me share that one with you. One person today evening, can you remind in the programming group SDLC Word document, then I will post it there. It is at home, not at office. Okay, children, if you do not have anything else, we can wind up. Exactly the time is 11:30.
Excuse me, sir, what document?
SDLC. Now in slide, do you see here I have said refer SDLC, because now I said analysis, design, coding, testing, everything I said, right? So for this I have created a note, typed a note. Of course you should have taken down your own notes, but that note I can share as well, right?
Okay, sir.
Sure. Who will remind me? No one will remind me?
So I'll remind you.
Okay, Anas. As being forward is a quality of leadership. Okay, so make sure that you develop those skills. Right. So we will see. We'll have to do presentations and things, other things. So let me see how I can help you. Right. Okay. Let's take a small feedback from the girl who joined today. Dilrani, is your microphone is ready? How was the lesson today?
Good, sir. So giving me a recordings today session.
Okay, sure, fine. Last week's session we don't have because it was a live session. Online sessions, of course, I do have. Very first session, I think it is not much, but still I do have that. This one I will do. And children, I think soon they will create your MS Teams. I think I showed you earlier. I'll stop the recording, children, now. Yes.